Okay, so here we are, playing Bioshock Infinite.
For the second time. Well, not second time.
I have to say that, I have to say
What?
that this was I think this is the first game I've been excited for in a long time. It's kind of funny, at the end of the console generation, I started getting excited for games again.
Yeah.
Because, like, I played games, and I liked games, but I never really said I was excited. But, like, you know, this game, The Last of Us, I'm like, I need to play these games. And I you know.
I think that's because they were, like, completely different, also.
Yeah.
They're not the same experience that we've had over and over again.
Yeah, it was a different take on Bioshock, and it just was interesting. So quirky, it was just interesting enough to really just catch my attention. So, and even though, like, I knew it was a city in the sky and all that stuff, the first time I played this scene, my mouth was just hanging open. Like, I didn't even realize it until after this part, but I was just kind of, like, listening to the piano music, and then
yeah,
it was just kind of like, it was weird how, afterwards I remember thinking, I was like, that was weird that how dumbstruck I was. It was like, it's not exactly like I was unaware of what this game was about, but
yeah,
still, I think it's pretty good.
I think one of the most, amazing sections to me is, like, right after this part, when you get into the temple area, whatever it's called, because it was just like, wow, I've never experienced a game like this before.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It's just like, what? Because you're just kind of like, where am I?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Oh, here? Yeah.
Yeah, because I never played the first Bioshock, so...
You didn't?
The original Bioshock? No, I never played it.
No,
I mean, I played, like, the first, 5 minutes of it.
Oh.
So,
I didn't know that.
I mean, so I've never actually played it. And,
You should play it.
So this was my, first Bioshock experience.
Ah. I see. Yeah. Even, I mean, there are similarities between the original Bioshock and this, which, you know, ends up making sense. But,
yeah.
it was different enough that I was, you know, because Bioshock 2 came out, and I liked it, but it got a little stale towards the end. Like, the last 2 parts, I was like, you could have done without an entire section of this game, I think.
Yeah. The funny thing about, the part of this game where you actually find out, that you go into Rapture at the very end, I was actually kind of dumbstruck that he actually was able to do that. I'm like, you actually connected these games for in some weird way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just a spiritual successor, it could actually, you know, it's giving a different take on the whole thing.
The whole idea behind the Bioshock games. That's pretty cool.
This is eerie.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I was playing this last night, this beginning part again, and if you just stop and look at the reflections and the way that the light plays off of it, it just looks so nice. You're like, I didn't know a game could look this good.
It's, yeah.
I mean,
It's pretty.
yes.
I like to jump. Yeah. So you're excited for the DLC?
Yeah, I am very excited for DLC.
Nice.
Even though I've never played the original Bioshock, I'm very excited. Just because.
You should do that.
Yeah.
You really should. It may, I don't know, like, this game was, like, so well made that I don't know, I haven't played the original Bioshock in a while. So I don't know
It's
how
way
well it would
harder
hold
because
up.
I constantly, like, I try to install it and then I play it for, like, I played it for, like, an hour last time I installed it. And it's pretty tough. I mean, so I have to get into that mindset. And I just wasn't in that mindset yet. So.
Hmm.
It's far less, I mean, far more difficult than this game, I think. Even though,
I'd say that, especially the end game. But I played it on a harder difficulty when I played it. Because I tend to do that to myself. Because
I played it
I'm a
on normal.
glutton
It
for
was
punishment. Yeah, normals is a good place to
I
start.
mean, you just don't get a lot of things in that game. You don't get a lot of, bullets or anything like that. So.
Yeah, it's all about scavenging. You literally, if you're going to be successful or be comfortable in that game, I kind of like that I was uncomfortable. You know, it's just like I was just barely scraping by with what I had, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I was okay with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Alright. I thought he was gonna come back later in some sort of.
He actually does.
I mean, he does,
He
but-
technically he does.
I thought he was gonna be a bigger part. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess he ends up being a pretty big deal. Do we want to talk about the story at all? Are we talking spoilers, or are we just giving a?
I mean, I
an
guess
opinion?
you've already talked about it. Pretty big spoiler with the,
I'll have to put in spoilers at the beginning.
yeah.
But ooh, look at this.
What do you want?
He looks like he's contemplating suicide here.
Told you.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it.
It's amazing how many different versions of "Give Us the Girl, Wipe Away the Debt." I mean, they're the same. They're saying the same thing, but how many things it means? And,
Yeah, right. The thing is with this is that, you know, the original two Bioshocks were, you know, pretty dark.
Yeah.
You know, in, you know, tone, you know, and even just in color. This is just so vibrant. It's like such a polar opposite almost.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting how like it goes from this to being extremely dark and.
Yeah, and in the original trailers for this, like they had the 8-minute demos, you were in the city that was already
Yeah, there was.
that was already, you know, gone, like in the first two Bioshocks. You got there after the society had fallen. And, you know, I was like, okay, whatever. But I was actually kind of glad that you were here, like the city was alive and well when
Yeah.
you first get here.
I mean, that's the interesting thing and hard thing about game design is that you want this to be a surprise for people.
Yeah.
But then that means you'll be showing them the same stuff that they've seen over and over. Not like
Yeah.
the same exact stuff, but something sort of more akin to the original Bioshock.
He just ate an entire block of cheese. Just throwing that out there. Hey, kids, how you doing? This is pretty intense. One thing I did like about this game, we're gonna go back to like the reviewing thing instead
Yeah.
of commenting. One thing I did like about this was that the vigors were actually like really, really effective.
Yeah, and
You know, because that was my one problem with Bioshock is like you got all these powers, but at the end of the game they really didn't do all that much.
did the original Bioshock have a thing where it was identifying what vigor you? I mean, well, not vigor, what plasmid you had?
What do you mean?
You have like because in this game, if you're idling for if you don't use a vigor for a few minutes, like maybe 2 minutes, he lifts up his left hand and
Yeah.
you see what vigor it is.
Oh, I don't know. It was you. His hand was up at all times. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
Salt. Overall, I thought this was I really enjoyed it. I thought it was. I had a great time. I loved that the one thing I liked as far as improvements from the original Bioshock. I liked that headshots actually did damage.
Oh, they
I mean,
did.
they did in
They-
they did in the original Bioshock, but at the end of things, it was just like in the end game, it's just like my guns aren't doing anything to these people.
Yeah.
You know, every fight was really literally like a fight for your life, but you didn't feel like you were actually doing any damage towards the end of things. You know, while I still love the original Bioshock, I like this one a lot better because the Vigors did did as much damage as they looked like they should do, and I mean this pistol here is like the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah,
It's my
especially
favorite thing
when
on the
in the original Bioshock you had the splicers who like killed you in about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And yet your plasmids did absolutely nothing to them.
Yeah. Later down the line, we'll have to do a review of your take on the original Bioshock after you've
Yeah.
played it. But yeah, overall, I think this was really very solid. If you haven't picked it up yet, you shouldn't be watching this video. What the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, because we just spoiled the entire thing for
We
you.
have a lot of spoilers. So, get out of here. But those of you who had played it, ooh, what is this? Stuff. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna end it right here. I'm done. I'm done.
Goodbye!
Goodbye. We'll be back next week, and we're gonna be doing challenge maps, I guess, which I didn't even know existed. So Jed's gonna have to instruct me on what those are. And then,
they just got available today. So.
oh, okay. Well, we'll do a first time playthrough of those next week. Okay.
Bye.